Hail and well met, dear adventurer, 'tis I, Bard, they, them, and she, her, welcoming you once again to the mad realm. And in today's tale of mortality, I shall tell you about the species which has since taken over Ascenscia and its ancestors, the species which is favored by the gods, for they possess the divine spark, a species which nothing can bring down, not supernatural or natural predation. A species which was uplifted from beast to become something which could become a god. I of course speak of humanity, mortals, in the many varied forms which I shall tell you about today. Thus, let me tell you about that species, humanity, mortals. From the caves and earth of the mortal realms came the ape things who walked upon two legs. The hirsute figures lurched about and cowed to the many deaths their kind faced. They were the last beasts immortals made, mockeries of the ancient elders' forms, but in the eyes of some of those ancient creatures was a glimmer. They looked upon the glimmering stars and the rising of silver moon and golden sun, while horrors skulked the ground at night. Those beings stood, straining their bodies until their backs cracked, and the designs of the gods came to warped fruition, to see the world for all its wonders. And as they gazed upon one another, they knew who they were, parent and child, loved and hated, living and dead. In their hearts they felt a beating, and in their minds an awareness. They felt and thought of such things that none save the ancient elders and immortals had before, and in their cores they felt the urge to shout. With each hoot and grunt they sounded until their throats were red sore. To the skies they shouted at once in that primordial first tongue. Thus began the slaughter of horrors in the first dawn. I am human. With fire, spear, and will, humanity wandered the mortal realms. Against fearsome beasts in the unknowable hinterlands, humanity thrived, for no other animal could speak as they spoke or felt as they felt. They took magic and cast it against the uncaring universe for the sake of their loved ones and those who would come before. Blessed with the divine spark, sapience, and creativity, all bowed before humanity. Over the course of untold thousands of years, humanity has looked upon every land there is to see and dreamed every dream there is to dream. The blood of every generation stains the earth to feed the crops their descendants eat. Madness cannot break their whole, nor fang or claw kill them all. Even when the gods themselves rain down destruction, humans stand defiant and avenge the tragedies of yesteryear. In the hearts of every human is a song from the ancient days when they were wrought from nature and gifted the divine spark. And in the heart of every mortal that has, is, or will ever exist, the song continues to beat. Acephalous humans. Acephalous humans are short, hunched persons whose necks stoop so far. Early writings about the mutation stated that their faces were located in the middle of their chests. This simian-like species of humanity is built with a constant stoop and elongated arms which they can use to reach far. But most notable is their tendency to move their entire person when they must move their head. Artifician human. Artifician humans are not naturally born or influenced by magic like Rifted are. Instead, they are the result of sorcerous mutations replacing the organic with the inorganic. Whilst augmentations to damaged forms are common on Ascenscia, Artifician humans are so suffused with constructed materials, all semblance of evolutionary traits of their ancestral birth have since been replaced by unliving components. Bestiathrope. Bestiathrope humans skirt the line between mortal and the dreaded animal-human hybrids known as beasts like us, unthinking hybrids of bestial rage and hunger. Bestiathropes occupy a niche of having evolved similar traits to beasts such as hooves, wings, gills, and the like, after many generations of being blessed by mortals. They often face discrimination and must prove their humanity if they are not to be mistaken for beasts like us. Such is why it is rare to find a living bestiathrope human in a settled area. Brute humans. Brute humans are hulks of muscle and mass. Their skin is stretched tightly over their taut, bulging muscles. All fat hardens into thick sinews. They are often racked with irritation from their skin always stretching and tearing when every move is a flex. Among humanity, brute humans are some of the tallest and widest people in an area, and are often the most powerful. Thunderous voices and large, bulky frames often earned unfound relations to giants. Goblin humans. Goblin humans are diminutive figures known for their distinctive sensory organs. Their many barreled ears are long and flick about to hone in on noise. Large eyes can dilate and shift on their own to see the world in all conditions. Broad, flat noses belie a complex nasal cavity, which can detect the faintest smells. And their tongues, toes, and fingers are elongated and padded to feel every sensation imaginable. Goblins. Since the rifting, humanity has mutated into a variety of species. The origin of these species is said to lie in the distant past when pre-rifting humans needed to evolve or die. The crossing of paths and magic has spread these mutations around the world. Every human species may be born from another, even if the parents are not of that lineage at all. As a result, the many species of humanity are not discriminated against, nor is there prejudice against a birth unlike the parents. There is no time for any hate amongst the multitude forms, for there are things more twisted and savage that stalk in night terrors. Humanity, in its current incarnations, is a collection of 17 recognizable kindred. Primogenitus. Primogenitus humans are the evolved base which all other modern humans are kindred with. In comparison to their pre-rifting ancestors, they stand 3 feet taller and are more fortuitous and stronger than their progenitors. Their ability to withstand the madness and magic of the New World is unparalleled. Most notably, primogenitus humans are also more intensely emotive. This trait has been passed on to every other species stemming from them. Abaramon. Abaramon humans are tall, multi-jointed runners within the tree of human evolution. Their ability to harness speed can match that of the fastest animal. Abaramon humans also possess a distinctive trait to move their legs in such ways as to turn and scale terrain others may have a hard time contending with. Though if the land is truly hazardous, they must rely upon the innate human usage of tools to conquer. Acephalus. Acephalus humans are short, hunched persons whose necks stoop so far, early writings about the mutation stated that their faces were located in the middle of the chest. This simian-like species of humanity is built with a constant stoop and elongated arms which they can use to reach far. but most notable is their tendency to move their entire person when they must move their head. Artifician. Artifician humans are not naturally born or influenced by magic like Rifted are. Instead, they are the result of sorcerous mutations replacing the organic with the inorganic. Whilst augmentations to damaged forms are common on Ascenscia, artifician humans are so suffused with constructed materials, all semblance of evolutionary traits of their birth have since been replaced by unliving components. Bestiathrope. Bestiathrope humans skirt the line between mortal and the dreaded animal-human hybrids known as beasts like us, unthinking hybrids of bestial rage and hunger. Bestiathropes occupy a niche of having evolved similar traits to beasts such as hooves, wings, gills, and the like after many generations of being blessed by a mortal. They often face discrimination and must prove their humanity if they are not to be mistaken for beasts like us. Such is why it is rare to find a living bestiathrope human in a settled area. Brute. Brute humans are hulks of muscle and mass. Their skin is stretched tightly over their taut, bulging muscles. All fat hardens into thick sinews. They are often racked with irritation from their skin is always stretching and tearing when every move is a flex. Among humanity, brute humans are some of the tallest and widest people in an area and are often the most powerful. Thunderous voices and large, bulky frames often earned unfound relation to giants. Goblins. Goblin humans are diminutive figures known for their distinctive sensory organs. Their many-barreled ears are long and flick about to hone in on noise. Large eyes can dilate and shift on their own to see the world in all conditions. Broad, flat noses belie a complex nasal cavity which can detect the faintest smells. And their tongues, toes, and fingers are elongated and padded to feel every sensation imaginable. Goblin humans are ever stimulated and perceive things their fellow humans are too dull to feel from bodily maturation. Halfling. Halfling humans are often confused for squat persons or an acephalous human with uncommon joints. Halfling humans share more in common with the form of primogenitus humans than any other mutant, which leads many to see a newborn as primogenitus when they reach the stage of youth when mutations come to the fore. As they age, though, it becomes apparent that their wide maws curl and contort in ways no primogenitus humans can. Many teeth of all kinds fill their mouths and throat, which can be used to break down almost any organic item, for their furnace stomachs that process food so thoroughly it is rare to ever find a halfling who dies of starvation. Homunculus. Homunculus humans are one of those most recent mutations, sprouting from halflings who grew lean. Homunculi humans are lean, thin people, the size of halfling humans. Very little physiologically distinguishes a homunculus human from a halfling human besides their temperature. The inferno of a stomach halfling humans have are cooled within homunculi humans. As a result, they may starve but cannot contend longer than any other human. It is said a homunculus human may eat one meal and work the whole day without needing another. Humorous. Humorous humans are exactly like primogenitus humans. They conform to the typical body of their ethnic kindred and possess no visible difference. However, when they are faced with miasmatic winds that carry plague or poisons of root and fang, the humorous human reveals their mutation. With much preparation, a humorous human can shift every internal organ and humor inside them to resist the effects of deadly substances. For an hour, their skin becomes flushed, sallow, prickle, dry, wet, and all other things, while their organs audibly churn within them. To the credit of a humorous human, they seem to not notice any change visible underneath their skin. Lankling. Lankling humans are the tallest of all human kindred, upwards of 10 feet tall. What caused such an extreme mutation to occur, none can say. Lankling humans are thin, towering figures amongst humanity. To be a Lankling human is to know how to bend and crawl to be accommodated. Yet, for every problem of height they face, a Lankling human finds solace in the fact they have mutated for agility. To a Lankling, their typical kindred below them are slow to act or clumsy within their movements. Merling. Merling humans are a species of human evolved to survive in the water. Whilst they can survive on dry land, as per any other human species, a Merling human is best suited for the water. They are hairless throughout their lives and have a thin sheen about their skin which insulates them from the harshness of salty and fresh waters. Merling humans have thin webbing between their long digits to aid in swimming. Legend says in the days before the rifting, early Merling humans would lure sailors from their ships or were divine messengers. Today, Mer people are known to be full humans and are not at all related to fish or other beasts of this. Orc. Orc humans are thick-jawed people with 2 protruding tusks from their lower jaw. Orc humans are recognizable for their prominent sagittal crests anchoring strong muscles to work their jaws. As with many, the original mutation that led to orc humans is lost to time. What is known, however, is that orc human lower jaws can break soft stones with ease. The perception that orc humans are stronger than they are comes from their potential relation to brute humans, with some believing that the 2 mutations were closely tied to one another in the infancy of a post-rifting world. Sire. Sire humans are Sire humans are similar to artificians in their usage of augmentation, which shows most prominently in their face, which originates their alternative name, Sireheads. Sirehead humans were once persons of all human kindreds until the same mutative magics which evolved the various human ilk warped some. Sirehead humans are able to take on the attributes of other humans after long, ruling sessions of self-reconstructing. During this time, agony breaks apart their sanity with each bone and sinew remolded. To many Ascensians, the remarkable ability to change into another human form has earned Sire humans one title fraught with tensions: Shapeshifter. Stunted. Stunted humans do not stem from primogenitus humans at all and are instead one of the many other branches of mortal life diminished or snapped off by the eviscerating jaws of nature. They are barrel-chested and stocky persons of a short stature. Their faces are as hard as stone and grimacing at all times. Populations of stunted humans are common in Dacria and West Meridia, but have since found their way to almost every land. One can recognize the stunted for their stamina and blunt physicality, in addition to high-pitched voices they cannot deepen without great training. Thick. Thick humans are naught but beings of dense fat. In every ethnic or cultural group, they are considered to be wild gluttons. Every thick human possesses large, heavy bones rolled in so many layers of hardened fat, only the toughest weapons can puncture their scarred, leathery skin. Every thick human possesses more protection than the most common metal armors. A thick human may appear as any brute human, but are covered in layers of stiff fat coiled lazily like tired muscles. Underkin. Underkin humans are a collective of many human subspecies the world over who have all adapted to the realm below. Some are squat while others are tall, and some sallow while others are gray and craggy. Underkin humans are a rarity to behold, for their intolerance to sunlight often deters them from coming to the surface. If an underkin human is born to the surface, oftentimes they are traded with underkin communities, with the reverse being true as well. Whether the underkin humans draw close to extinction is unknown, for the realm below does not allow for easy communication between settlements. And winglings. Wingling humans tally themselves as distant relations to rifted and bestiathropes of some ancient ancestry. A wingling human has abnormally long arms and fingers of nigh double, if not more, their height. Flaps of skin membranes fill gaps between each digit in the body. Like a bat, a wingling human can use their hands to fly. Their ability to do so is not as proficient as natural-born aerialists. Holding items often proves to be a clumsy affair, but one that can be done when not flying about. Their index, middle, and thumb fingers are shorter than others, and can thus hold onto items in the way that any human may wield an object. Humanity is a truly variable species. There have been more than 17 kindred at a time, who have since gone extinct, their mutations unfit for a growing, changing world. These are the mutations that have survived thusly, and in the future more mutations will sprout up. It is inevitable, and perhaps these 17 mutations will, in due time, die off. But all I know is that humanity's variability, its ability to adapt, not only bodily but mentally, is unparalleled. I have seen humanity in every single environment, magical or natural. They have taken to many different forms and many different appearances to best suit their world. And even when displaced, they have a remarkable ability to change. And as long as there is another human, they shall not despair. For though humanity's greatest foes have oftentimes come from within, persons who have lost their sympathy, their empathy, and now know only hate and apathy, it is truly a beautiful sight to know and to witness humans from completely different lands whose peoples have never crossed paths before stop and stare at one another. The seconds as the idea of drawing one's weapon comes to the fore, the question, are they one of the many mutants given to depravity, whose whole kind have been damned and accursed by the gods? Or are they like me? And in that split second, when they look into each other's eyes, and they see the same fear and the same questions, they come to ease, and love overwashes them. For they recognize another kindred soul within the harshest world. And they stand up straight, walk towards one another, and though they will not know their tongues, will embrace and thank the other for their life. I have never seen another species do so. I have not seen a god or ancient elder do so. I have not seen a beast do so. Though there are examples, I've never seen them do it in such prolificity. It is truly amazing what humanity can do. And though the world tears them apart and desires their death, gory and brutal, agonizing and slow, the spirit indomitable prevails forever for those who were, those who are, and for those who will be. Thank you, my dear adventurers, for listening to this tale of mortality. I wish you a glorious day, and may chaos reign. Thank you all for listening to this episode of Tales of Mortality, a podcast focusing on the world building that I have been doing for 18 odd years now on the world of Ascenscia, a planet racked by chaos, madness, and magic, where horrors, supernatural and natural, threaten the survival of humanity and the spirit indomitable. Ascenscia and this podcast and all the writings are owned and made by me. I am a one-person crew. So, if you'd like to support this, please do like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. And go follow me on Instagram at Bard of the Mad Realm. It is greatly appreciated, and I hope you all have a glorious day. Sorry that this specific episode has come out on a Saturday. The footage that was originally going to be there for Friday, did not take hold. So I had to re-record just about everything. But hey, thanks for sticking around. Yeah, I'll see y'all later for the next episode. It's going to be quite the contrast. Yeah. So, bye-bye.